Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystery Sports Podcast. Obviously, we are back. The Premier League is also round the corner. Massive game at 12:30 tomorrow. F1 is back. The WSL obviously is continuing before its international break, and just a bit of news of the European football. So obviously to do with the Champions League and Jose Mourinho. So just to get into it, we'll go with the Jose Mourinho news. I mean, a lot of people do know that Mourinho is now the Benfica manager after 25 years of being um, starting at Benfica. He's now back there, and he's now obviously ready to accept that new challenge for Benfica, and especially in the European competitions of the Champions League. I think one of their goals is to do as well as they possibly can in the Champions League. Obviously, we do know that the fixtures that Mourinho does have are very, very difficult, especially against Chelsea, obviously his former side, Newcastle, Real Madrid as well. Obviously, always a tough game there, no matter what. Obviously, I think that Mourinho should do well there. I think. Sorry, just sort this out. I think Mourinho should do well there. I think he normally wins a trophy everywhere we go, obviously, except from Tottenham and Fenerbahce. Obviously, he didn't win much there. However, I do think that Mourinho will definitely do a good job there, especially with it being Portugal. He's Portuguese as well. I think he can get a lot out of the new up and coming European talent. And a lot of people obviously do look up to Mourinho, especially from a Portuguese perspective. I mean, good news for them, obviously. A little bit of news on Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. So obviously, I did say in the previous video that Trent suffered a muscle injury. So I think that Trent Alexander-Arnold, judging from the reports from Spain and the tabloids there, they've been saying that he might be out for a couple of weeks, maybe back for the third game week of the Champions League. Just they're obviously monitoring that situation there. Obviously disappointing for Real Madrid, but at the same time, I'm there thinking, as an England perspective, just like, oh my, like it could be a bit of a setback for him to get into the World Cup squad, especially obviously not being part of the previous international break. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel preferring Livramento, and even if Reece James fully fit at this moment in time, I'd 100% take Reece James to the World Cup over Trent Alexander-Arnold, especially for that defensive contributions and just that kind of attacking threat. Well, obviously, everyone knows how good Trent Alexander-Arnold is, like he showed at Liverpool, but I think um, Reece James is more sort of like his all-round performance is just much better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I would take Reece James over Trent Alexander-Arnold any day of the week. But yeah, right, let's get on to it. The main sort of thing. So United versus Chelsea. I'm gonna go through what I think should happen. If I was the Man United manager right now, this is what I'd do. And then I'll also go through what Ruben Amorim will do and what will happen, what most likely will happen on Saturday evening, tomorrow evening. So the first major thing that I would do is I'd start Kobe Mainoo in the midfield. And against Man City, just a couple of his stats here: 32 minutes played, 25 touches, 100% passing, 17 out of 17, 100% ground dribbles, won 3 out of 3, 100% dribbles, 1 off 1. I think from that kind of stats there against Man City, it just shows that his all-round gaming performance is miles better than any of the of Ugate's, who had a shocking game. Having 100% passing rate, 17 out of 17, obviously that's a fair amount of passes against Man City. And obviously having 32 minutes played, I think he's had a good involvement in the game there. And I think the quality of on the ball that he possesses is miles better than certain people like Ugarte, especially going forward. I think Manu offers so much more. Uh, The only thing I would say that only defends Agate is that whenever Agate is in the midfield, he's kind of left by himself because Bruno's probably going forward, and there's so much space there, which is like which everyone just exploits and everyone runs it, overloads of the midfield. So I think Mainoo starts. Not only can he play that box to box role, we're getting defending and obviously attacking. I think mainly just his all around quality on the ball and his kind of the way that he moves the ball around on the pitch. I think it's just miles better than what other options are like Agate and Casemiro. So this is what I reckon. This is another formation. Well, not formation change. It's a slight tweak in the formation. So obviously everyone knows Ruben Amorim loves his three at the back, or his 3-4-3, as everyone calls it. I would kind of split it a little bit. So I would go for three centre backs, four in the midfield, one number 10, and two strikers. And if you look at the way that this formation could go, so what I would do as the lineup against Chelsea. So Le Mans in net, Aiden Heaven, left-sided centre back, Matthias De Ligt, and Lenny Yoro. So that's your back three. I think Shaw, he's had it. He doesn't deserve to play. He had a shocking performance against Man City. Aiden Heaven deserves a chance. I mean, sorry, but Aiden Heaven had a brilliant end of his season last year. So why is he not getting some games? I think Aiden Heaven deserves a start. So Aiden Heaven as the back three. Your wing backs are Dogu and Ahmad. I mean, Dogu left-footed, whips the ball in. Obviously, didn't have the best of game, but I wouldn't want to play Luke Shaw there. I don't think he's got the fitness to be able to do that. Ahmad as your right wing back. Everyone knows how good Ahmad is. And then this is where the main kind of changes are now. So Casemiro as your first holding, and Kobe Mainoo as your other holding. So Kobe Mainoo will have the license to go forward. However, having Bruno Fernandes in that one number 10 position puts him in his favoured space, his favoured position. And then Cunha, because he's back fit, and then Buemo as your two number nines slash strikers. And this will allow that space that we would have. So what Ruben Amorim normally does is play the 3-4-2-1. And when he's playing that, so he would probably go with this formation. So Lemons in net, De Ligt, Yoro, Shaw, Dogu, and Ahmad as your wing backs, Casemiro, Bruno as your two centre mids, Cunha and Mbuemo, and probably Mount up top. Right, that's what he's done when they've been fit. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But when that formation is there, so he's 3-4-2-1. Obviously, the striker will go forward, and Cunha and Bremo are your attacking midfielders, so they're going to go forward anyway. And then once they've gone forward, there is so much space in that midfield, and then that means that anyone playing a 4-3-3 like Chelsea do, they can just overload the midfield. So they'll have Enzo, Caicedo, and probably Cole Palmer in there, overloading that midfield. And Casemiro's legs have gone, and Bruno Fernandes doesn't know how to play a centre mid because he's a number 10. So if I'm Ruben Amorim, you go with your 3-4-1-2. So you've got three in midfield, so you can match whoever's in. You can match the Enzo Maresca's 4-3-3, and the three in midfield. Obviously, they can equal each other out instead of it being a 3v2 in Chelsea's favour, leaving us exposed at the back, therefore leading to goals conceded, like what happened against City. So you do that. You play your three in midfield, so Casemiro, Mainoo, Bruno, and obviously Cunha and Bremer up top. So Cunha and Bremer, obviously, they'll go forward, and then you have Bruno, who has the license to go forward, but not obviously too much, and playing that number 10 position, leaving Casemiro and Mainoo there. So there's two there, so they're not getting isolated, and then Bruno can easily just fall back in, fall back in defensively, and create that little triangle there, the three in midfield. So then one of them can take whoever's the left centre mid, the other on the right, and then Bruno obviously one in the middle. So I think realistically that's what he should be doing, and to stop this kind of problem of us having so much space in infield, because we've not got the player who can get forward, get back rapidly, and because Casemiro isn't that player. Casemiro's legs have gone. Casemiro 5 years ago would have been the ideal person. Obviously, Kobe Mainoo, he can do it, but he needs to start and he needs to get that match fitness. And this is a perfect game for Mainoo to get back, to get into this squad, have his chance, and go and take this game and go and try create chances or feed it into Bruno, feed it into the wing backs. Because at the end of the day, if we play what we probably will do is the 3-4-2-1, the three attackers, so Cunha and Buemo and probably Mason Mount, will go forward, leaving that huge space, and Bruno Fernandes will, knowing Bruno, will go forward because he wants to get in on the action, and just leaves Casemiro isolated. And Casemiro 3 versus 1, and Casemiro, who's 34, 34, and gets and his legs have gone. He's going to be outrun by Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, and Caicedo. They'll just be all over him. So, and Caicedo can literally just latch on to Casemiro and leaves Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez, arguably their, well, Cole Palmer obviously the most creative player, and then Enzo their second most creative player, free. And then judging with who we're going to have who he probably will put as our centre backs, Shaw, Delite, Yoro, we're gonna get absolutely battered. And from what I think will be the starting lineup, so Lemon's in net, Shaw, Delite, Yoro as your centre backs, Dorgu, Ahmad, wing backs, Casemiro, Bruno as your centre mids, Cunha and Buemo as your two cams, and then Mount up top as your false nine. We're gonna get battered. I think we're gonna lose 3-1. I'm not gonna say 100% we're gonna lose 3-1, but there's a high chance that we lose 3-1. I can't see us getting a positive result out of this if we stick to the formation that we've been playing, or the formation, right? We know he's not going to change that, right? However, I think that little tweak there, in just playing two strikers, keeping you free at the back, your four in midfield, but instead of playing your two cams, play your one cam and have two strikers. And especially with the quality of Cunha and Buemo, I know a lot of people might be saying, "Oh yeah, Shesko's gone. Why have you bought Shesko?" And to be fair, why did we buy Shesko? Because we bought Cunha and Buemo. The goals have come in there, and they're perfectly fine. I think we don't need a number 9 yet. We needed a centre mid, and God knows why the Man United board went and bought the two Shesko instead of a centre mid. You know what? That fair enough. Obviously, it might work out, and I hope it does work out for Shesko and for us as well. But Cunha and Bremo as your two strikers, perfect. You've seen how well they've played against Arsenal and Burnley and Fulham, the chances we've created. So that's fine with me. They just need to take chances. And I think as soon as they get them goals, like obviously Mbeumo's got his, and he looked very dangerous against Man City. Obviously, Donnarumma pulling off 2 worldies. And I think as soon as that happens, then and they click, then goals will be coming in for United. The chances will obviously be there, and hopefully we're clinical. But that 3 in midfield, if we can close that space that there's there, everyone can see it, then I think we have a chance against Chelsea, and I think we have a chance in the season. But if it stays like how he is doing, we just 3-4-2-1, we're gonna get absolutely peppered in the midfield on Saturday. Tomorrow, Enzo Maresca, all he's gonna do, he's probably planning this right now. Enzo Maresca is probably saying, "Look, lads, let's just overload them in field because they can't hack it. Casemiro's old as anything. Bruno doesn't know how to play in the centre mid. He's not gonna start Mainu. Agate, you probably get him sent off because he's gonna rush into challenges, and they'll go and win the game 3-1." And I wouldn't be surprised if Garnacho scored. Obviously, going to the press conference, Enzo Maresca said that Garnacho might be starting, and I think he will be starting. It's just written in the stars that Garnacho starts. And you know what? If Garnacho starts, Garnacho starts. Fair enough. Let's hopefully Delete just clatters into him or something. Just let him know what he did and why he did it wrong. Obviously, that's a hypothetical world, and I don't think that will happen because I don't think any United player's got the fight to do that. Especially how Roy Keane described it in the Manchester derby. No yellow cards in there. So it's a flipping derby, for God's sake. You should be in there. You should be willing to fight for the club. And I didn't see one player do that. And obviously, I ranted on about it the other day. But, you know, surely we've got to show a bit of fight. Like, if Lissandro Martinez, I can't wait for him back. That fight there, that passion, that mentality that he always on about, the mentality that Martinez brings to that squad is unbelievable. We need players like him. I'm sorry, but we've not got the players. We've got that mindset to go and fight for the club, fight for the badge, like, and just that passion there. It it will come eventually, and I think Ruben is the guy to bring that. And there's clearly change, and obviously his it's come out as well that he's had a meeting with Sir Jim Radcliffe yesterday, and that his meeting was all about what his minimum targets are, getting Europe and things. I think always has to be his minimum target this year. Make sure you get into European football, get European football for the club because we need that money there. And even though it might be only a small amount, that money there will bring something different to, well, financially for United as well. But let's hope. Let's. I don't think he will change. He's obviously said it quite a lot in his press conference that he's not going to change his formation. But that little tweak there, obviously, Ruben Amorim, he's a good manager. From what everyone's saying, he's a great manager, and obviously he wasn't on City's radar to replace Pep for no reason. But surely he's got to know that we're getting overrun in the midfield, and that every single team is just going to overload the midfield. Like Chelsea, they're a great side, young side, energetic side, and they'll just literally be all over us like a rash. Casemiro won't know what to do, and Bruno will just be like, "Forget this, I'm just staying forward." Or he'll get himself booked 100% if he plays how the 3-4-2-1. You'll just get himself booked. But just summarising it, I think we need to play this three in the midfield without changing the formation because he's not going to change the formation. So your 3-4-1-2, I think that's what we've got to do. So we have Casemiro, Bruno, and Mainu in that midfield to create a triangle, and it closes that gap there, makes that space shrink massively. So let's hope. Let's hope. Obviously, that happens. I doubt that it will happen. Predictions for the game: 3-1 Chelsea win. And honestly, I, I- I'm I want United to win, but I cannot. I can just see a massive, well, another defeat, 3-1 to Chelsea. It's just that definitely will happen. There's just can't see much happening from there. Really, it's just disappointing. Obviously, no one wants to be seeing United lose, predict United losing and things. But I think that's what's going to happen at the end of the day. Yeah. So just moving on to Premier League, obviously match day 5. Big, probably the second biggest or the third biggest game of the weekend, I'd probably say second biggest game of the weekend. So Liverpool Everton Merseyside derby, 12:30 kickoff, TNT Sports. If you want to watch it, not getting paid. Um, I think with this game, look, Liverpool can easily go and batter Everton, and I think that's definitely a possibility. But then it's a Merseyside derby, and judging how Everton have been playing recently and in the Merseyside derbies, I think it's going to be another 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a brilliant game to watch from a neutral's perspective. So I'm going to go 2-2 draw. Everton to get another late equaliser and cause a massive upset to the Scousers. Well, Liverpool. Burnley Forest. Forest win. 2-1 Forest. Think, yeah, pretty self-explanatory that. Brighton Tottenham. I think it's going to be an entertaining game, 1-1. I know obviously it sounds boring, but I think there'll be chances for both sides, and it'll just be that one chance that they get, which gets them a goal. Palace, West Ham, probably a Palace win, 3-0 Palace. Wolves, Leeds, 1-0 Leeds. And then Chelsea United, 3-1 Chelsea. Coming on Saturday, 8 o'clock kickoff. Fulham Brentford 1-1 again. I think that would just be a very tight game, and I think Brentford away at the Cottage. I think they'll do well to get a draw. So then Sunday, Sunderland versus Villa. Sunderland will give played really well this year, so I think it will be a probably draw. Probably a 1-1 draw. I think Villa will obviously score in again midweek, and I think Villa will go and they'll get definitely score, and I think it'll be a 1-1 draw because Sunderland just look really good this year. Bournemouth Newcastle, think that's got another 2-2 draw in it. I think very entertaining game. Both sides brilliant. Both sides always scoring. Newcastle obviously suffered defeat against Barcelona after Rashford 2 superb strikes from him. I think Newcastle bounce back, or well, semi bounce back, get a draw there. Then obviously the big one, Arsenal City Super Sunday. Um, I think Arsenal 2-1. I know a lot of City fans will be like, "Wow, you're just being biased, this and that." But I genuinely do think away at the Emirates for City, it's going to be a hard game for them. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Arsenal win. I think obviously if Odegaard and Saka are in contention, as Mikel Arteta has said, I think it could definitely be an Arsenal win. But like I said, City could always just turn up and beat them 2-3-0. You never know what will happen, but I doubt that will happen. I think Arsenal, obviously at home, they'll play a bit more expansive football instead of sitting back. And I think it'll be a great game to watch. And I think 2-1 to Arsenal. Haaland probably will score for City, and I think for the Arsenal, I think Gabriel might get a header or something. And who else going to play score? Probably Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres will score. Yeah, definitely Gyökeres. He's had a good good. Sorry, bit of I can't speak. He's had a decent run of form. There we go. Yeah. So moving on to WSL. Tonight we've got two games. So Everton versus London City. Everton win 2-1 there. Then Tottenham versus Man City, and I think that'll be a Man City win 3-1 to Man City. Then Sunday we've got Chelsea versus Leicester. Chelsea win. Uh, what do we go with that? Chelsea win. I think it will be about 4-0 Chelsea. Then Villa Liverpool. Villa win 1-0 there. Brighton versus West Ham. Brighton win 2-1. And then United versus Chelsea. They're the main game for the WSL. I think that will be a 2-1 win to Man United. I think they'll carry on their winning streak. But yeah, that'll be interesting game to watch there. That is 2:50 kickoff on Sunday. But yeah. So moving on now to the F1. Obviously, it is back after its week break from Monza. It is in Azerbaijan, so the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So I think with the F1 at the moment, I think Lewis Hamilton. I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. I think he's had a bit of a promising little site, really. Obviously, from what I've watched a little bit of FP2, Ferrari obviously. Hamilton leads the Ferraris in a 1-2 as Norris finishes the session, FP2, by hitting the wall and stuff. So obviously that's not looking good for him. But I think if I'm gonna go for this, I think it will definitely be a McLaren. I can't get any of this up. Why? Don't do this to me. I want you to get up the stats for it. Sorry about this. There we go. Can we get it again? Results. There we go. Oh no, not even that. Latest. There we go. Yeah. So FP1 first practice. Sorry, should I say? Lando Norris came first. Piastri second. Leclerc third. I think what could happen this weekend, it could be a massive eye opener for the championship. So obviously we know that if McLaren outscore Mercedes by 12 points and outscore Ferrari by 8, they do go and win the constructors championship, which is no doubt that will happen eventually. So obviously McLaren, fair play to them, hats off to them for winning the championship, constructors championship. I do think that there's something definitely can happen, and I think there'll be surprise from a lot of drivers this weekend. I think Ferrari will somewhat have a good race. I think they'll get a podium weekend. So what I'll predict for that is that it's going to be a McLaren 1-2, Norris winning the race and Piastri second. Then I'm going to Lewis Hamilton third, then George Russell fourth, then Charles Leclerc fifth. Max Verstappen sixth, Kimi Antonelli seventh, Carlos Sainz eighth, Alex Albon ninth, and who can have I think what was shot. I think Isaac Hadjar will get a point, get P10 in the race. Obviously, we wait to see what happens in quali. Like with the F1 qualifying is the main kind of I think for Azerbaijan as well, qualifying is very important. It's a bit like Monaco, obviously being a street circuit, and I think Azerbaijan will be something similar, but there's always overtakes, there's always chaos, someone's hitting the wall. So we're looking forward to that. That race is at, I think, 2 p.m. That's what it usually is. No, sorry, 12 p.m. p.m. is the race. That's sort of pretty early start for normal Grand Prix races. So 12 p.m. start there for the actual Grand Prix. Qualifying will be slightly early, 1 o'clock tomorrow. So that will obviously be interesting there to see that. But yeah, that is everything for today. Hopefully, United can have a better game. Let's hope that my prediction is wrong. I hope it is. I doubt that will happen. Hopefully, the um, Arsenal do a job over City because I don't want Liverpool winning the league. But yeah, that is everything for today. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Catch you all in a bit. See ya.